Hi everyone, how are you? This is Marissa Indigo with Divine DNA Blueprint, and I am in the process of landing. We just got home a few days ago from our mega grid workers trip up and down the West Coast, which is where we were going from Washington all the way down through Oregon, all the way down through California and into Southern California and back up again. And being back in Washington, it doesn't stop. I've been so excited to share a working process and different revelations with you all. So I'm very excited to share the most recent, because I've got to go back in time to kind of share everything that has been happening as we went all the way through 3 states in about a week. So yesterday we spent the day with the gray whales, and this was right outside of Seattle. We went on a tour, and I wanted to share grid working with the whales because it's just amazing when we look at the patterns in nature and a lot of these incredible beings, these ancient beings. Are grid workers too. So elephants are grid workers of the land, following the ley lines and certain migration patterns. And the same can be said for the whales. The whale road, which was in the Old Norse way of referring to the ocean as the whale road. So the whales are the grid keepers of the oceans, and they have really special patterns. And we just had so much amazing magic happen with these gray whales yesterday. So I took quite a few shots of the whole trip. Where we were was a place called Everett outside of Seattle. And so much amazing information was coming through. So just to share a little bit about the gray whales, their journey is quite extensive. I'm going to share with you here. Let me share my screen with you guys a little bit more about them. It's just amazing, their journey. I'm sorry, I'm very tired, so I'm a little slow. But this is a great resource here, the Marine Mammal Commission, Western North Pacific gray whales. So their journey, this is how massive their journey is. Western North Pacific population of gray whales historically migrated along the coasts of, and this is very important, now listen to this, Russia, Korea, Japan, and China. And then there's also Sakhalin Island in Russia. And so they're all the way up there, and then they come all the way down, which is south for them, going by Alaska, Washington, and Oregon, all over California, and all the way down to Baja. So they have an extensive journey. This is a really cool map here to give you an idea, to show you the whales themselves determine their own patterns. So you can see some of them all the way up here. Some of them are going to go down to the Americas, and some of them are going to go down into more of the Asiatic areas, which is just really fascinating stuff. So needless to say, they've got a massive journey. Female Western gray whale swam 22. So again, there's the 2 2s. We have a lot of 22s and 12s or Trinities with this process with the whales. 22,511 kilometers from Sakhalin Island, Russia to Baja California, Mexico, and back in 172 days. So they've got quite an amazing grid working journey that they are doing. I wanted to share more specifically the tribe that comes here in Washington that's going all the way down our coast, the West Coast. They're called the Sounders because they come into the Puget Sound to feed on these ghost shrimp. And here's where the Trinities began. We have roughly a dozen gray whales. These are individuals that they have been tracking, and they have come on this route for the last 20 to 30 years, which is really amazing. If we think about some of the different corporations that are here, okay, tying all of this in. So we've got some of the most massive corporations. Google's second largest location is here in Seattle. In Seattle, we also have Amazon and Microsoft as the, I think that would be like the Trinity of the biggest corporations when we talk about grid working and bringing in that crystalline clarity, that crystalline consciousness, that highest vibrational frequencies of consciousness and alignment for humanity. When we look at what these corporations are doing and the amount of money and power that they hold in the matrix system. So I find it very significant, very symbolic that this is the route of a dozen of these amazing record keeper gray whales. To offer some perspective, the whales can weigh up to 60,000 pounds. And they're some of the largest whales that we have actually in our oceans. And you'll see in the video footage, I have some really great photos here, but what's really interesting, oh, there's so many fascinating things about them. They are a baleen whale, so they eat kind of more of the krill and the ghost shrimp, and they just are like these giant vacuums on the bottom of the ocean floor that are filtering out a lot of things. And so that's what brings them to the Sound and these different magical islands here in the Salish Sea. And the Salish Sea has a lot of really incredible codes as well. The indigenous population of the Salish Sea was there 12,000 years ago. So we've got a lot of Trinity facts. Another thing that's really fascinating about the whales, the gray whales, is that the shape of their blowhole actually creates, when they exhale out and the foam and the spout, it's a heart shape. So I included some photos here so you can see for activation. We had some amazing rainbows appearing, and just, it was a really magical day. So today's our first real day of just kind of trying to ground in and relax at home, because we had just come in a few days ago, and then yesterday went on this amazing grid working with the whales trip, and I brought the Andaras, and it was just an amazing time. So I just wanted to share this footage with you and just share some of these facts about the gray whales as record keepers and as grid workers of the amazing cetacean family from Sirius. And just kind of drop in just those little encoded packets of, wow, look what companies are here that are really poised for change, that have a great deal of potential for change. And we think about the different people affiliated with these corporations. So anyway, I think you'll get what I'm saying between the lines there. So thank you so much for joining me. I will have some other videos coming up with grid working. There's really important codes to share about water and about the tree networks and all of this. It's just such an incredible part of our being here on this planet at this time, really having this multidimensional experience with all of these different elements and kingdoms of the natural world of Gaia. So thank you again so much for joining me. I hope you love the video with the whales and connecting with them, and I will see you soon. Take care. For those interested, here are some different whale sounds from the gray whales. It's very interesting to hear their language. Definitely sounds like an alien language, and one of those things that always makes me just have a chuckle, because in the human experience, you know, we're reaching outwards and farther away for the extraterrestrials. And then the more we embrace Gaia and the kingdoms here, the more we see how much the entire planet is star-seeded with the extraterrestrials and how they show up in the various kingdoms. So in this instance, I definitely feel that the gray whale song and their language definitely sounds like an alien or ET kind of watery light language. So without further ado, here we go.